My parents warned me not to look out the window at night. I just discovered the horrifying reason why. Since I was a baby, they've always told me, don't look out the window at night. When I asked why, they would just shrug it off with creepy smiles. As I grew older, I stopped questioning it, thinking it was just one of those odd family traditions. But I never could have guessed the dark secrets they were hiding. Everyone in my hometown followed this strange tradition, so I thought it was normal. That changed when I went to college and realized no one else had these peculiar rules. During Christmas, when I visited my parents, they repeated their warnings. I chuckled, dismissing them, but curiosity gnawed at me the moment they left the room. Lying in the dark, I decided I would look out the window. Just as my hand reached for the sheer white curtain, I paused. My mind flashed back to when I was 12. I had the flu and overheard my parents talking in the kitchen. I peeked out from behind the wall to see my mother crying while my father comforted her. "That poor little girl," my mother had whispered, and my father just nodded. Later, my dad boarded up my windows, claiming it was for safety. The next day, I learned that a little girl had been found dead after a window was broken and the curtains torn. I snapped back to the present, shaking my head at my own fears. What was the worst that could happen? It was just a window. As I reached out again, a painful howl came from the forest surrounding the house. I flinched back, deciding to lay down and try to sleep, but sleep was elusive in my hometown. Every night, coyotes howled for hours, or so I thought. That night, I woke in a cold sweat, glancing at the clock. It was midnight. A low growl echoed from outside my window. Remembering my resolve, I threw back the curtain with a swift yank, almost ripping it from the rod. I pressed myself against the wall beside the bed before peering out. Suddenly, I heard claws scraping against the side of the house. My heart raced as I tumbled out of bed and scrambled back up, sticking my face closer to the window. The sounds grew nearer, then stopped. Just then, a terrifying creature lunged at the window, emitting a horrific shriek. I'll never forget its face. Hollow eyes oozing a black tar-like substance, its lips stretched into a gruesome grin, revealing blood-stained, razor-sharp teeth. It had 4 limbs, its front 2 slamming against the glass. I was paralyzed with fear when my parents burst into the room. My father held a shotgun and yanked me away from the window, aiming it at the creature and firing a shot. The thing scrambled away, leaving the window almost shattered. "Damn it, son. It was a simple task. Just don't look out the window. How hard is that?" my dad shouted. I sat on the floor, arms and legs trembling, unable to process what had just happened. My mother rushed to the bedroom door, tears in her eyes. "Is everyone all right?" she asked. "Yeah, we're fine," my father replied, though I could see the worry etched on his face. "We still gotta get that creepy monster. Get up, we've got some work to do," my dad said, thrusting the shotgun into my arms before heading downstairs. He came back with a machete and a spray bottle, spraying the liquid onto the blade before heading to the front door. "Wait, Dad, what are you doing?" I asked, bewildered. "Now is not the time for this," he hushed me. The house fell silent before loud banging and howling erupted at the front door. I took a few steps back as the wood began to splinter. "Point the goddamn gun and get ready to shoot," my dad ordered. I aimed the gun at the door, adrenaline coursing through me. Suddenly, the creature burst through, and in a panic, I pulled the trigger. My dad knelt beside me, bringing the machete down on the creature's head. The howling ceased, and my mom rushed forward with a tarp to cover the gaping hole in the door. "Honey, are you okay?" she asked, rushing to me and kissing my cheeks, ensuring I was still there. She then went to my dad, repeating the gesture. "We're okay. Both of you get in the basement." I was still in shock, questioning everything happening around me. "The basement? Now?" I stammered. "Let's just get in the basement. Your father needs to clean up," my mom insisted, pulling me down the stairs. We sat in silence on the basement couch for what felt like hours. Finally, my dad entered, exhausted. He placed the machete down and sat in front of us. "Dad, what was that thing?" I finally managed to ask. He looked at me, eyes dark and serious. "Where do you think that howling came from?"